Todd Whitten, head coach at Tarleton State, Baylor-Tarleton State Saturday evening at 6 at McLean Stadium. And Coach Whitten joins us now on 365 Sports. Thank you for being a part of the show. I know you had a busy day. How much, and looking back on playing the game the week before, being able to get that done, can you already tell a little bit of a difference in what that meant?
Well, yeah, I'm a firm believer. I think this is year 20 for me being a head football coach. But yeah, I think you learn a lot week one, and a lot of the real improvement you make is early in the season, is between week 1 and 2, maybe week 3. So it is good to have that initial game kind of under our belt. And so I don't think there's any question it was good for us, and a lot was learned.
Coach, one of the things I got from watching your game last week against McNeese was, I know I'm sure you've got, you have a list of things that you guys go to correct, but you've got a bunch of scrappers. I mean, that was a tight game. Both teams, were ready to throw haymakers, and your guys came through ready to get into a kind of a street fight. And you see that early in the season. What kind of feeling did you get from them after playing a tight game like that?
Yeah, well, I think we have a tough-minded football team. I was proud of the fact that we had 1 penalty. We had no turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, and we got 4 turnovers on defense. And so we played really pretty clean. We had some adversity losing our quarterback there in the first half, and so I thought we battled. Really proud of the effort and the way that our kids played really hard. And so that is certainly something you like to see right away. And so if you got a football team that's going to go out and play hard, play 4 quarters and battle, and then you got a chance. And so we, especially I think for our league and our level, I think we've got a good squad, a lot of work to do. But we're anxious about Saturday and the chance to play up a level and play on a really big stage there at Baylor. And it's just a great opportunity for our program.
Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this question, but I understand if you need to plead the fifth. How's your quarterback, Victor Gabalis, feeling after Saturday?
Yeah, no, he's going to miss this week. And so he had a thumb injury, and he's going to probably be out a couple of weeks. And so but we will get him back sooner rather than later. And so I think he's a pretty good player. And and so you hate that, but it's college football, and these things happen. And so we've got to get our other quarterbacks ready to roll, and I think they will respond this week.
Todd, I've known you for a while. I say that every time we have you on because of the connection in Nacogdoches, but thank you for being honest about that. I mean, I know a lot of times a lot of coaches just wouldn't have been able to say anything, or they would. And no, seriously, the transparency there. He's out. You let him know. The team knows. Let's move on. Yeah,
no question. I'm a big believer in communicating with our players, and it is what it is. And so we've got to kind of rally the troops, and and it was kind of out there for everybody to see. We were on national television on Saturday, but nevertheless. We've got a lot more to worry about in blocking and tackling those guys at Baylor, and so that's where our focus really is. And going all in on our backup quarterbacks and trying to make sure those guys are ready to go and give us a chance to win on Saturday.
When you you have to punch up a weight class this week, how do you balance out the emotion that's going to go in because your guys are going to be fired up to come into Waco and play Baylor, and then balance out the let's make sure we get better and don't just get so excited about this opportunity and lose the rhythm of preparation?
Yeah, that's a really good question, I think. We have not played our best or what we're capable of. So 2 years ago, we opened the season at TCU. And then last year, about week 2 or 3, we played Texas Tech. And we just sort of got overwhelmed, and we got off to slow starts. And it's hard to dig out of a ditch like that, when you play up a division. And so, one of the real keys is to getting off to a good start. I wouldn't say a fast start, just get the game going and try to keep from having shooting yourself in the foot. A year ago, our first possession on offense, we threw a pick six. And so stuff like that. But make no mistake, every time we tee it up, our plan is to go to Baylor on Saturday and play really well and get out of there with a win. And so we know that the odds will be against us. Again, I'm honest with our players about that. And information is so plentiful these days, so the odds on these games is out there for everybody to see. But we have a good team and we've got a lot of good players, and we've had 3 really, really good days of practice and preparation. And so our plan is to win every game we ever play. And so, we've got 26 seniors on this football team. And so I think they will be there and they will fire their best shot. As a coaching staff, we just have to do a good job of having a good plan and navigating all the different things that go into this. And so, but I think our fellows they'll be ready and again, really excited. And it's a great opportunity for any football team that gets the opportunity to play up a division.
So many changes. Jake Spavital, now the offensive coordinator. Coach Aranda now heavily involved with the defense as much as he is the head coach. Do you have, and DeQuan Finn, the transfer from Toledo, do you have any idea what to expect this weekend?
Well, I think Coach Aranda is just as fine a coach as there is out there anywhere. I know when he was a defensive coordinator, he was considered the very best in the country. And so, I think he's got a wonderful staff there. And I think they had some unfortunate things a year ago, but I think they've got all the makings of a good team. And so, but to answer your question, we've got to go back and we got to look at Cal, for Spavital. We go back and we've been looking at 2019 LSU, and then also studying the personnel from the Baylor squad and the new guys and the transfer quarterback from Toledo. And so a lot of different things you've got to tend to now in these early games where there are some question marks, but yeah, it's never easy. I like the idea of the NFL where you get about 3 or 4 preseason games, but we don't get those in college. So they're all really important.
Todd Whitten, head coach at Tarleton State, with us on 365 Sports. So you mentioned the quarterback. Your team created turnovers. You mentioned you did not have the penalties and turnovers, which is nice. How much do you think from game 1 to game 2 with the adversity at quarterback, though, that you can improve? Because I was impressed. I thought you guys had that game sewn up, and then it got a little dicey at the end.
Yeah, we probably did, and I was disappointed that we didn't have a second half to kind of go out and have the opportunity to finish, and I thought it would have meant a good bit to Victor, our quarterback, and his growth, to go out and have a chance maybe to put a game away. And so, but we didn't have that. The only chance we've got to be more explosive, I think. And we got to find a way to make some big plays. Anytime you upset someone, or have a chance to, do what we're hoping to do on Saturday, you got to play clean, but you've also got to find a way to be explosive on the offensive side and try to figure out a way to keep from giving up big plays on the defensive side as well. But we made a few explosive plays on Saturday, but not nearly what we would like or know that we need to make to be successful.
I know you got to go, but 1 or 2 more questions. One, this is a separate game. It's Tarleton against Baylor. It's this year. A lot of new places, new faces, especially with the transfer portal. Do you feel like the Texas State game last year in Waco helped you or hurt you in this case?
Well, yeah, maybe, a little of both. Now Texas State has 85 scholarships.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We've got 63, but probably a little of both. Those everybody involved in the Baylor program is going to point to that game, say, let's not let that happen again. And so we can point to that game and, everybody's eligible to go and play well, no matter who the opponent, and to come out of there with a win. So we have a good football team, a good football program, and we're going to fire our best shot on Saturday.
We have had representatives from your school. And last question, Todd, thank you so much for your time, about what it's meant now. You're officially out of that transition period. You're officially Division I. What has that meant, even though that's still very fresh?
Yeah, it's really, it means the world. To be able to go and have a good season and then be considered for the postseason, to have that off your back, so to speak. And as you get into recruiting situations, just about every recruiting battle we've been in the last 4 years, the fact that we were under the transition and the rules that go along with that always came up. Old Tarleton couldn't go to the playoffs, and all those things. So it is nice. I think it made our guys stronger. When you go and you battle through tough times like that, I think it's good for you in some ways. We've got 26 seniors. One of the things that I'm the most proud about with regard to our football program is we've had very few of our players leave. And we have a good many guys on this team that if they were to get in the portal, they would have many opportunities at big schools. And so I'm proud of the fact that our football team has stuck together and through tough times. And so we're excited to be through that and see what happens.
Hey, Todd, great conversation as always with you. I know you got a lot on your plate. We'll see you Saturday. Axum Jacks, and also good luck to Tarleton State this weekend.
Okay, thank y'all for having me on. We
Todd
appreciate
Whitten,
y'all.
head coach at Tarleton State. We have a great pipeline to that school because of the journey that they've been under and the transition that was frustrating, remember. And here they are. This is their first official year where they can get in the postseason if things go well. I was impressed with what I saw, but how about the immediate, transparent answer to Craig, your question, which I almost like, do you ask the question because they're going to say no? Some coaches would, and he just was like truth serum.
Yeah, I mean, you ask the question because otherwise you can't get an answer, right? So
Absolutely.
If you don't ask, you can't get a response to that. So if he had no commented, that would have been perfectly fine, as I alluded to in my setup to that. But I appreciate his honesty, and it was pretty clear when Victor Gabalis didn't return in the second half that it was something pretty serious. So the good news is, if you're a Tarleton State fan, that he sounds like, a couple games at least is what you're looking at, but nothing season-ending as far as that thumb injury goes. So that's a positive update there. But, yeah, very unfortunate. You lose your starter in the opener just a couple quarters in, and he's not even available to play in games 2 and 3 and who knows beyond that. But, especially I'm sure for Victor Gabalis was probably pretty pumped up to head into Baylor Stadium and play a Big 12 team and, try to play spoiler. But, he'll have to scratch that itch some other way, I guess. But Tarleton State, the rest of his team, they still got that opportunity. And I don't think with Todd Whitten-led group, they're just going to ho-hum their way into Waco. So I think Dave Aranda and Baylor need to respect them and be ready, just like they would be ready for any other opponent, no matter health or status or whatever. And good for them on getting that first win, and good for them on getting this transition, fully on the other side of it to now enjoy and reap the benefits of that. So yeah, I really appreciate any time we get to talk to Coach Whitten, and I do thank him for his honesty.
He was a hell of a player at Stephen F. Boston. Also was a baseball player while he was there in the mid-'80s from Kimball High School in Dallas. And think about this. This is his career path. He played with SFA, went to Kimball High School, played a year with the Patriots. Then he was not going to mention the assistant or but
the old bad Patriots. They're like the laughing stock, like that people that aren't 30+ don't, maybe even 40+ actually.
That might have been the year after they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. Was '86 with Parcells.
I just remember that they stunk and they didn't matter, and I hated their uniforms. Now you put them in like the new closer cut, and you can make old stuff look cooler
Nicer
nowadays.
blue, yep.
Yeah, but I could not stand those uniforms anyways.
Texas Tech, New Mexico State, UTEP, Tarleton State, Wyoming, Sam Houston State, Tarleton State, Sam Houston State, Lamar, high school at Arlington Heights for a year, UTEP, and then Tarleton State has been there since 2016. He has been in many different places to pick the brains of others, and they of him. Todd Whitten, head coach at Tarleton, 6 o'clock kick at McLean Stadium.